The audio for this podcast is taken from the Performance Car Lounge YouTube video. If you get a chance, check out the Performance Car Lounge YouTube channel. I've just bought the cheapest HSV VE Maloo Ute advertised for sale in the country, sight unseen. I'm at the airport now and I'm flying to North Queensland to check out the car that I've bought and to drive it the 1,500 kilometres back to Brisbane. Stick with me to see what the car is like, the specs, how many Ks it's done, its condition, and if this car is actually going to get me all the way back to Brisbane. The seller was nice enough to pick me up from the airport and I saw my new Switchblade Silver Maloo for the first time. Listen to that V8. Just met the previous owner of the HSV VE Maloo and they've just handed over the keys. Let's check it out. This car's just ticked over 240,000 Ks and it's the cheapest car on car sales. Let's have a look. Listen to that. This car's had new cams and lifters put into it just under 12 months ago. It sounds super lumpy. I love it. These cars put out 317 kilowatts from factory, but this one with the new cams has had a dyno tune and is putting out considerably more than that. We'll have a look at the dyno sheet soon. The Maloo is a performance coupe utility vehicle, or ute, and it's built by Holden's Performance Vehicles Department, Holden Special Vehicles, or HSV. It was built in Clayton, Victoria in Australia, and the first Maloo was produced in 1992, and they manufactured these until 2017. Maloo is the Australian Aboriginal word for storm or thunder, and this ute is a version of HSV's Club Sport sedan. There were three main variants of this ute produced: the Maloo R8, the Maloo R8 SV, and the Maloo GTS. Although there were other variants produced, including the Gen F2's Maloo GTSR and the 474 kilowatt LS9 powered Maloo GTSR W1. The W1 was never intended for production, but HSV staff found that they had 4 excess Maloo GTSR bodies and they built 4 utes. The 4 official build colours were Light My Fire Orange, Yellow, like the 1996 VS GTSR, a matte grey, and Sting, a deep red colour. Today, the GTSR W1 Maloo utes are worth well in excess of 1 million Australian dollars, but I can tell you I paid a fraction of that for this Maloo R8. I'm pretty happy with the overall condition of the car. I've now got to drive it back to Brisbane, which is 1,500 kilometres. So I'm going to do it in a few stages. The first step will be to drive from Townsville, where I am now, to Mackay. That's about a 4.5 hour drive. So let's hope that this car can get me through that drive without any dramas. Let's take it away. So we're starting the drive off to Mackay now from Townsville. I've got the 6.2 litre putting out over 300 kilowatts at the rear wheels through this 6-speed manual transmission. I'm looking forward to the drive. I just hope that this car can get me there without breaking down. At the moment, I'm seeing no reason why it shouldn't. It's tracking well, the brakes seem good, the tyres seem good. The temperatures so far, I've only been going for about 5 minutes, seem fine. I'm travelling at 100 kilometres an hour, which is about 60 miles per hour. And in 6th gear, the engine is ticking over at just over 1,500 RPM. So it's doing it pretty easy. And the fuel economy, I don't expect it to be great actually, but it might not be as shocking as I think. It'll be interesting to see how much fuel I use over the course of the trip. But if you're buying a powerful muscle car like this, fuel economy shouldn't be really one of the things you worry about. So on this road trip back to Brisbane, I am a little bit worried about road conditions along the way. All of Queensland, but especially up north here, has recently been ravaged by Cyclone Alfred, which has dumped a lot of rain. So I am concerned about potholes, and these having quite large rims and low profile tyres, it wouldn't take much to damage a wheel or tyre. So hopefully the roads aren't too bad and we don't have any issues with flats on the way back to Brisbane over the next 3 days. Alright, so I'm about 50 kilometres into the trip and I've just lost the head unit, which obviously controls my radio, so could be a boring drive from here on. I think my climate control should still be okay. I've got physical buttons for that, so I'm not going to cook in here, but I just can't see what the settings of the climate control are. Maybe if I stop the car and start it again, I might get the head unit back. If that's the most serious issue that I suffer on this trip, it's not too bad. Let's hope there's not any more. Vision out the front of the Maloo is really good, but looking in the rear view mirror here, you can see that the humps in the hard cover for the bed do obscure a lot of your rearward vision out the back of the car. And when you go to check your blind spot, massive buttress there that you just blocks all of your vision. You can't really see anything. So you really are relying on your side mirror to make sure there's nothing in your blind spot. The Maloo is actually the fastest ute in the world. In 2006, an HSV Maloo R8, driven by V8 supercar driver Mark Scaife, achieved a top speed of 271.44 kilometres per hour, or 168.66 miles per hour, setting a Guinness World Record for the fastest land speed reached by a production ute or pickup truck. This record was achieved in Woomera in South Australia. The record-setting ute was a previous generation VZ Maloo, powered by a 6-litre LS2 generation V8, putting out 297 kilowatts. The record for world's fastest ute has never been officially broken and still stands today, although it stands to reason that this R8, powered by an LS3 V8 putting out 317 kilowatts in standard form, would beat that car in a land speed test. But I doubt that anybody actually cares. More importantly for me, this ute looks fast standing still and sounds epic. Well, I've done almost 400 kilometres now in the ute, and I've got to say I'm pleasantly surprised. The 6.2 litre V8 has not unsurprisingly gobbled up the highway miles with ease. I haven't had any problems at all, and it's been comfortable and enjoyable to drive. The soundtrack from that V8 is just unique. You have to love a good V8. In about half an hour, I'll be stopping in Mackay for the night, and tomorrow's going to be the biggest day. I'll be heading from Mackay to Bundaberg, which should be probably a bit over 8 hours of driving. So hopefully the car performs as flawlessly tomorrow as it has today, but I'm not holding my breath. As you can see, I'm driving through a lot of sugarcane fields, and Mackay is known as the sugar capital of Australia. It's also well known by tourists because of its proximity to the Great Barrier Reef. Welcome to day 2 of the trip. After an awesome sleep in Mackay last night and a long day yesterday that started at 4 a.m, I'm really looking forward to getting back out on the road today. I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't have any major issues with the Maloo yesterday, and we did about 450 Ks, no worries at all, just a few little glitches with the audio system. I was also pleasantly surprised with a couple of gifts I received from the owner of the Maloo, and I'll get to those at the end of the video. But now, what I'm really looking forward to is my first cold start with the HSV Maloo. This ute could be my spirit animal. It's big, it's heavy, and it's thirsty. Time to fill it up with some premium 98 fuel and hit the road. It's an absolutely stunning day today for my drive south from Mackay to Bundaberg. I've got about 7 hours of driving ahead of me. I'll take a couple of stops along the way, but I've got to say, this Maloo Ute is really easy to drive. The steering is quite light and relatively direct. It could use a lot more feel. I'm not getting much feel of what the front wheels are doing through the steering, but it's not too bad. But the gearbox is what surprises me. The clutch action is really light, and the throws on the 6-speed are direct and relatively short and really easy for such a powerful drivetrain. This is a very long car. It does have reversing sensors on the back of it, but it could really use a reversing camera, which I believe later models came with. As you can see, on the highway, this 6.2 litre V8 is actually pretty frugal. I don't have a full tank. I've probably done about 50 Ks, and it's indicating a range of about 700 kilometres. It's pretty impressive for a big, powerful V8. I was filling up this morning at the servo, and I noticed this. Blue Pepsi Max. Can you believe it? Stand by for the review, but Blue Pepsi Max. What a time to be alive. Just rolling through the town of Kumala. Not much to it, but through the towns you got to do 60 Ks an hour. Be back up to the speed limit very soon. There's a few of these dotted along the highway where you slow down and blink and you'll miss it. A couple of weeks ago we had Cyclone Alfred come through Queensland and dump a whole heap of rain basically on the whole state, and I've never seen everything so green as this. Normally Queensland's quite a dry area, especially in some of the rural outback spots, but everything on this drive so far has just been stunningly green. I'm really lucky to be able to experience this road trip at this time. It's quite unique. Okay, so the Blue Pepsi Max. I expected this to taste like Pepsi Max, the normal one, except just blue, but it doesn't. It tastes different. It still tastes like cola, but in my opinion it's more like one of those generic colas that you buy at the supermarket that are no name, no brand. This blue colour doesn't add anything for me. I prefer the normal Pepsi Max, so I'll give this 4.5 out of 10. It's still got the caffeine in it, which is probably the most important thing for me at this point. So yeah, 4.5 out of 10. Stick to the normal Pepsi Max. Some of you might not have seen road markings like this before. So as you can see in the middle of the road here, we have two lines separating the oncoming traffic from each other. So when both sides are dotted, that means anybody can pass. When your side is dotted, that means you can pass, but the other side might be solid. And if both sides are solid, that means nobody can pass. I guess it's a cheap way to keep the traffic separated from each other, but also allowing passing opportunities when it's determined to be safe. And I guess in today's society, we do need lines to tell us these things, because you can't trust people to use their own judgment, because people are idiots. Okay, let's see what this trivia question is to keep me alert. Highest mountain in Queensland. These trivia games are supposed to help me stay alert. I have a feeling it might be Mount Maroon, something in that vicinity. Oh, I did know that. The answer is Mount Bartle Frere. Man. Keep playing the trivia, it may save your life. I never knew trivia was so important. Okay, so I just hit a pothole so big that it knocked this bit of trim loose into the footwell, which is a negative. But on the positive side of things, it seems to have fixed the radio. But that was a gigantic pothole. These roads really are a disgrace. If you look at the condition of them, this is a major highway linking up all of the major towns on the eastern seaboard of Queensland, and it's one lane each way, and it's so rough, it's dangerous. There's potholes everywhere. They clearly don't build these roads properly in the first place. Where do all our tax dollars go? And where do all these speeding fines go? They're supposed to go towards road safety. I don't see it. This road's a disgrace. It's the end of my rant for now. Just now coming into Rockhampton, which is the beef capital of Australia, on my way through to Bundaberg, which is the rum capital of Australia. It's been an easy drive the whole way, except for that monster pothole, but the car seems to have survived that fine. And it did fix the glitch in the radio for some reason, so I had a really weak sounding radio before, and now the stereo is thumping. So that's a bit of good news to come out of hitting the pothole. Hungry. Haven't eaten anything today, so once I clear Rocky, I'm going to look for a pub or a servo to grab some lunch. Counter lunch at a pub sounds perfect right about now. Alright, I think we found a place for lunch. I'm at the Raglan Tavern, and it looks beautiful. Raglan is the halfway point between Gladstone and Rockhampton, with a population of 143. It was declared open for British pastoral squatting in 1854 and named after Baron Raglan, first Commander-in-Chief of the British Army in Crimea. A world away. Anyway, it's time for that pub lunch, so let's see what the Raglan Tavern serves up. Lunch at the Raglan Tavern in central Queensland. Let's try it out. Only an hour south of Rockhampton, the beef capital of Australia, so the meat should be good here. This steak should be great. It's pretty good. Time to hit the road again, but I feel like a bit of fun. As I'm pacing this train, which I think is loaded with sugarcane, and dodging all of the monster potholes, I'm looking for a private road. And what do you know? I found one. The thing I love about the Maloo is there's no fancy drive modes, just traction control or off, and it's up to you and your right foot. And now that I've got the rear tyres up to temperature, I can safely resume my journey to Bundaberg. I'm now nearing the end of day 2 of my road trip. I've got about 100 kilometres to go until I reach Bundaberg, where I'm staying for the night. And then tomorrow it'll be a relatively short 4.5 hour run from Bundaberg to Brisbane. The car has continued to perform very well, although the pothole audio solution hasn't lasted. I've spent the last couple of hours without any music, which isn't so bad when you've got this V8 to listen to. I'm looking forward to getting to Bundaberg, seeing what's happening there, and starting the final run into Brisbane tomorrow. Fatigue zone question: Bundaberg's most famous aviator. I think I do know the answer to that one. I believe that's Bert Hinkler, but we'll get the answer to that question very soon. On the left hand side here, we'll keep an eye out for that to see if I am in fact correct, if it's Bert Hinkler. Yes, I was correct. The fatigue zone answer to the question is Bert Hinkler, and they're still encouraging me to keep playing the trivia. So I've got 1 from 2 right so far. I have missed a few though. I haven't been paying as much attention as I probably should have. Entering the town of Gin, probably one of the final towns before I get into Bundaberg. The main drag of Gin, if you ever wondered what it's like. Gin is Aboriginal for a scrub or red soil, and it's a popular fishing destination known for its giant barramundi, including a world record catch. That particular barramundi weighed in at a whopping 44.6 kilograms and was caught in Lake Mondurun. What an absolutely stunning afternoon. Just crossing the Burnett River into the CBD of Bundaberg, and it looks like there's some kind of carnival on close to the city. That's pretty cool. Just head into the CBD now. I'm looking for a place called Bundaberg Chalet, which sounds very interesting. chalet motor in, that's me. People sometimes refer to Bundaberg as Bundaboring, but clearly they are wrong. Bundaberg is known for its sugarcane production, the Bundaberg Rum Distillery, and Bundaberg brewed drinks. It's located along the southern bank of the Burnett River and is a major gateway to the Great Barrier Reef. I don't know if you can hear that, but a couple of other residents at the motel here in Bundaberg have decided to bring their dogs along for the night. Those dogs are now barking at each other. On top of that, some of the other guests have kids who are throwing epic tantrums. I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of sleep had here tonight. Good morning. It's the final day of my road trip back to Brisbane. But before I start the journey, I'm going to head out to the iconic Bundaberg Rum Distillery. Let's go. Before taking the drive back to Brisbane, I thought I'd stop at the Bundaberg Rum Distillery to take some photos of the car and talk to you about the special surprises that I received when I did buy this car. An HSV Maloo parked in front of the Bundaberg Rum Distillery. Does it get any more Aussie than this? Earlier in the video, I mentioned that there were a couple of pleasant surprises that came with this ute that I didn't know about when I bought it. Let's look at them now. These headlights have been upgraded to LED bulbs, which have improved the lighting output massively. Really good for driving on the highway at night when the kangaroos are an issue. Behind the driver's seat is this kicker unit. I don't know, it looks like a sub or something. Is it an amp? I don't know anything about stereo, so if you do, let me know in the comments what this thing actually does. I was also gifted this nice HSV canvas banner. Nice. And the final surprise I received, the piece de resistance, is this HSV watch. Check this out. This HSV GTSR edition watch has never been worn and looks pretty cool. Perfect, I guess, for special occasions like weddings or flash nights out on the town. Being the cheapest VE HSV in the country, the car's obviously not perfect and there are a few rough bits. For example, the rims have been curbed pretty hard a few times and there's some pretty dodgy repairs on the rims. But from a distance, they look pretty good, but when you get up close, you can tell that they're not great. There's also a few scratches on the body, especially on the underside. This is a very low car. I think it's been lowered. It's on aftermarket springs, I'm sure. And there's a bit of damage from running over gutters, I imagine, there too. I think this Maloo's been fitted with some pretty cheap tyres as well. They're branded Max Trek. I haven't heard of them before. Are they any good? Let me know in the comments. The seats in the Maloo have worn really well for their age and they're quite comfortable on a long road trip. They've definitely been made for fat guys even fatter than me, and they don't really provide much support during cornering. But on a road trip, they're perfect. Aftermath of the pothole I hit yesterday, that bit of trim has come loose, so I'll have to click that back into place. Now leaving Bundaberg for the final run back home to Brisbane. It's been a great trip so far. Let's hope this last leg doesn't throw any spanners in the works. Let's go. Since the sound system has decided to no longer work after hitting the latest and greatest pothole, the silence has given me plenty of time with my thoughts, which is a dangerous thing because I just think about other cars I could be buying. But the other thing it's allowed me to do is isolate where every squeak and rattle is coming from in this car. And there is a fair few of them. But thankfully, I've got the 6.2 litre V8 to drown them out whenever they become a bit irritating. Yesterday, I was complaining about the state of the highway and its poor condition, with massive potholes and rivets from trucks which cause damage to wheels and suspension and is just downright dangerous. Well, I'm pleased to report that after Childers, say about 30 kilometres south, the condition of the highway has improved massively. So far, it's been billiard tabletop smooth, and I hope the plan is to extend the quality of the highway up north. That would be so good for road safety and also to prevent damage to cars. Let's hope the condition of the highway stays this good all the way into Brisbane. If they do manage to improve the quality of the highways all the way up north, they could easily bump the speed limits up to 110, 120 kilometres an hour. Do you reckon they'll do that? Let me know in the comments. Plenty of people heading north for the Easter long weekend. Oh, we've got another fatigue trivia question coming up. What's the meaning of petrichor? I think I know that one. I think petrichor is the smell of rain when it hits the ground or something like that. Stay tuned, we'll find out if I'm correct. Okay, here comes the answer to the trivia question. Yeah, I was right. It's the smell of rain. The oldest bridge in Queensland. I'm not sure I know this one. I'll take a stab. I think it's wrong. I'll say the Indooroopilly Bridge. The Dick Abram Bridge. Never heard of it. Wonder where it is. Here's the next fatigue zone trivia question. Date bird of Queensland. I think I know that. Is it a kingfisher? I should know it, I used to know it. A brolga. I did not know that. I'm not sure I ever knew that. When was the last time I saw a brolga? Well, I'm back in Brisbane now, and I've got to say that I'm thrilled with how the Maloo has performed on the trip from Townsville all the way south to Brisbane. It's been hugely reliable mechanically. The only issue I had was really with the stereo that has lost its sound, and I think that's going to be an easy fix. I think that's a loose connection because it just stopped working after a contact with a big pothole. I've become quite enamoured with the car. I think it's the combination of the big 6.2 litre LS3 V8, 6-speed manual transmission and rear-wheel drive. It'll be interesting to see what this ute is like to drive in the city because it's quite long and the vision out the back isn't fantastic, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. This cammed V8 has a really lumpy idle and it's fairly grumpy around town. While the fuel economy was pretty good on the trip on the highway, I've got a feeling it's going to be diabolical in the city. I'm almost home now. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.